I'm Erica Mendez, and you're watching a Toonami Faithful podcast exclusive.
Hello, everyone. This is editorial writer for ToonamiFaithful.com, CJ Maffers, and I'm with a very, very special guest. Someone who helped me get onto the podcast. Not exactly directly, but it's a funny story for it anyway. But still, thank you for taking some time with us, Erica Mendez.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, obviously, the big show right now is Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. Very excited when I heard not only that it was getting dubbed, but it was going to be on Toonami. Mm-hmm. What were your first initial thoughts when the show was announced it was going to be dubbed and the whole cast audition process for it? Did you know much about the whole project?
I had heard a lot about Hunter x Hunter. I had never watched it beforehand because I knew there was like an old series, but that one, honestly, like the animation doesn't appeal to me. So I was waiting to watch the 2011 one, but I wanted to wait for a dub because if a series is that long, I don't want to watch it over again because that's a lot to commit to.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, I ended up, getting in the dub, which was, of course, I'm going to watch it now. But I would have watched it regardless, honestly. But the audition process, I auditioned for the three main boys, Kurapika, Killua, and Gon.
Okay.
And I eventually ended up auditioning for Menchi. I got a call back for Gon, and they wanted to hear more of what I could do. And they wanted him a little bit older than I had played him in my audition, so we kind of worked that out. And eventually I got the email saying that I got cast.
That must have been awesome, too.
Yeah.
Is this your longest project? It will be with anime?
It will be, yeah.
Like 148 episodes? Like,
yeah.
You're with, I think the longest before that was probably like Magi or 50 episodes or something along those
Yeah, because that had 2 seasons. I guess technically, like, I'm not in all of it, but Sailor Moon, I guess.
Right.
Technically, I don't know how many episodes I'm in of that.
So I'm wondering, do you think there's going to be a tougher, not like tougher strain for you to keep doing this over and over, but do you think the process is going to be that much dramatically different, considering like the shorter shows that you'd be in, less time, commitment, all that kind of stuff?
Well, the thing I like about not only being in a series that's longer running, but being with a main character for as long as the main character is in it, you get to grow more with the character, so you kind of like finesse things out a little bit more. Because I feel like that's a thing with people is they complain about how the characters don't sound right in the first few episodes, but that's because we're still figuring it out.
Well, it's not even that. It's like a blooper or like a minute, and they already can decide like that.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
And it happens. I get it. I'm a fan too, so. If first impressions are everything.
The only first impression that actually worked for me was Hisoka.
Oh yeah,
when I heard that in a bump, that was really good.
Like when I first heard Keith, I was like, I don't know this character that well, but it's perfect.
I agree. Do you read the manga at all?
I don't. I've been hearing a lot that I should.
Well,
but it's a lot to keep up with.
It's hard, and right now it's back on hiatus.
I know. I heard.
It hurt. I became a fan of the show when it hit this long hiatus right before it came back recently.
Yeah.
And I read all of it, and I'm just like, oh, wow, this is really great. And then when it happens again, I'm just like, oh, I thought with you guys doing the shows and like it being on Toonami and everything.
It'd be more motivation, yeah.
And again, the author is apparently very ill and things like that, so I get it. I was just hoping he would be able to have more help or work through it. I thought it'd be kind of nice. So it's a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But like I say, it's a great show, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. It seems like you really like Gon,
too.
Yeah,
he's so, like, I thought Killua was going to be my thing, so I was really gunning to get him when I did the audition. But I'm really, like, falling in love with Gon. I think he's so much fun. He reminds me of Aladdin from Magi, which is another character I really enjoyed.
Funny. I do see the similarities, but you don't sound the same, believe it or not.
It's different. Aladdin's a little younger,
yeah. It's very interesting. Like, at first, you're kind of like, yeah, obviously you could see her doing it because she did Aladdin, but it's like, it sounds a little
different, yeah.
Sounds a little different, but it's a lot of fun, so I really enjoy the show. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, too. Another show that you are on that's on Toonami, of course, Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, with one of the more interesting names I've seen in an anime with that. How did that process go? Because it seemed like you guys were more open about, hey, this is actually getting dubbed. Usually with shows, it's kind of more secretive. But then all of a sudden I see Kyle McCarley say, like, hey, I get to be this person, and we're recording, and we're almost done. Johnny Young Bosch as Orga. The list goes on and on where the few people announcing kind of stuff. So it seemed more open with this than previous anime that at least I've been paying attention to.
It was a little weird because they like pretty soon after they announced the dub, they announced a large majority of the main cast, but I had to wait until it was broadcasting. Yeah, so I was like, can I like talk about this? We're already like getting pretty much well into the announcement, so when do I get to talk about this? And finally I was just like, well, it's out now, so I guess I get to talk about it. But yeah, I play Cracker Griffin in that one, and I don't think I'll ever play a character with a more interesting name.
We have we had a lot of fun recently on a podcast talking about Cracker and Cookie.
And Cookie.
We were wondering if they don't like baked goods, how would that work? Or how they would react seeing
I know
people
they
eat
like
them.
I know they like chocolate a lot, so I don't know about baked goods.
And
but
Darrell really enjoys the booty fruit. As he calls it.
That was so fun. I was actually hoping that I got to because I didn't know which one was which at first. I had the hardest time figuring it out, and people ask me all the time, but I'm like, no, I'm the one with without the pigtails.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I want to get the one that talks about the butt fruit, and then instead I got the one that laughs about it. But it turned out really great. So
now,
it was really funny.
Which one's better in your opinion, Cookie or Cracker?
I mean, obviously I'm going to be biased.
I'm more teasing.
No, yeah, I know, but I do like Cracker a lot because she's. I didn't understand why I got cast as her at first because I actually auditioned for Kudelia and Atra. Didn't get either of them. Didn't hear about it for a while, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, you're playing Cracker," and I'm like, "I don't know who that is."
Like,
but
what'd you call
okay,
me?
yeah, exactly, right. Me and the director Chris Kaysen kind of made those jokes a lot in the booth, but
he's been doing a great job with this
he's
too.
been
a lot of people
awesome.
have been enjoying the show a lot. My father was watching episode 3 because I couldn't see it live, so he DVR'd it for me.
Right.
End up watching, and he just sees the scene where Mika just kills that guy, and he's like, "I thought these were the good guys. What is going on?"
Yeah, it gets crazy.
He was enjoying it a lot. So, do you know any other like Gundam series or any kind of Gundam? I know you used to watch Toonami back in the day. So, did you watch Gundam Wing, G Gundam, or anything like along those lines?
I watched Gundam Wing back when I was like trying to find more anime to watch because that's Gundam Wing was one of the ones that was on the block when I was watching Toonami way back when, and so I watched that, but I don't remember a lot about it other than the characters' names. But some of my favorite Gundam series, I'm not a huge mech fan, but my favorite, I think, out of the whole Gundam franchise is probably 08th MS Team.
Oh,
That's a nice, like, romantic short one, and I thought it was really well done. And then G Gundam is just ridiculous fun.
That is my favorite, too. I love it. It's the performance is really good. If they ever redub that,
I mean, Allenby, I'd be down for Allenby.
We have a Sailor Moon redub that you're in, so I mean... If they want to,
I'd be willing.
I'll try to help you out. So those are 2 shows that you're on.
Yeah.
I know it seems like you've been on Toonami a lot lately, which is not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
It must be nice to like. I know you. I saw a previous tweet where you're like, "Oh, I wish I could do that a little different. I wish we could have edited that." I hope you're not too hard on yourself as much as you have been.
I try not to be.
But Kill la Kill, I still feel like that show is still simulcasting with how popular it is, with how much people love it. And you're right, your performance it's very different from what I'm used to with like excuse me, I'm losing her name right now in 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh, Deanne.
Yes. I'm more used to hearing you like that kind of thing with it's like tough but yet still kind of like a little girly but very like you don't want to mess with her kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then you have Ryuko. And I was actually been rewatching it recently, and I'm like, they left a lot of cusses in this. Like, wow, usually they cut them out kind of thing.
They added a lot for Kill la Kill because Alex Von David, the director, has got a potty mouth of his own. So he made Ryuko like a total punk, which she is. So
I can't decide between her and Satsuki. I really can't. There's some days where I'm like, I like Satsuki more, and then there's other days where I like Ryuko more.
I'm biased, but
it's really fun. I love the animation for it too.
It's great.
The color schemes of it is really nice. I know Trigger does it, which is. They're in right now. They're very popular.
Oh, they're great, yeah.
How much do you look back on that and saying like this was really like one of the more fun titles that I got to work on, whether you be a lead or anything, kind of like just being able to be a part of that project?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I wasn't sure if I was going to like the show way before I auditioned. I kind of watched it because I was like, well, this is going to be the next big thing, and people are talking about it, so I may as well check it out. And I liked it a lot more than I thought I would because on first glance, it looks like a huge fan service show, but it's way more than that, and I really appreciated that about it.
I've seen college papers about Kill la Kill talking about how you can take it, like you're saying, with more fan service now. It really isn't that. It isn't the most appropriate thing to watch, but then there's some people saying, no. You if you look by that, there's some actually
there's
some
like
nice,
all these politics and stuff. Yeah,
it's very
really cool.
interesting, which is why I really enjoy the show too. I think it's one of the more entertaining shows that Toonami's had, and since it's revival kind of thing. And it must be cool being able to watch all the cool fights on that too.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
I also Sword Art Online 2. I know Sword Art Online. I'm surprised people haven't yelled through the people walking around over there. I remember a story saying how you originally auditioned for Reckon.
Yes.
And sadly, you weren't able to get the lead.
Right.
Which, it sucks. I understand, but you were able to get into the second season.
Yeah.
And a much more badass character, I will say. That had to have been a lot of fun.
I'm really glad the way that turned out. I was a little upset at the time because I was still starting out at that point. I think I had only done Magi at that point. Pretty sure it was before Kill la Kill. But I'm glad that I didn't get that. That's one of the only roles that I'm glad I didn't get that. But Yuki, I've totally fallen in love with Yuki. She's one of my favorite characters to date, and I know there's kind of some controversy about her whole story, but things happen.
I like the fact that you got to be away from someone who wasn't very good at it to the best player in LAO.
Yeah.
So and you get to say you're part of Sword Art Fantasy now.
Yeah. I did my Sword Art time.
As tragic ending as it was.
Yeah.
I believe you were saying how before, and I think in a panel earlier, crying legit for that.
Yeah, it was legit crying because obviously I don't go through a lot of the stuff that Yuki had gone through, but there were some portions of it that I kind of connected with despite not having completely gone through her journey. But yeah, I cried watching it in Japanese both times I watched it to research, and then during the process I actually for that ending scene, the last episode, I asked specifically if everyone else could record because I figured everyone else that's in it is amazing. So I'm sure they're going to give amazing performances that'll spur that emotion back within me. So, and sure enough, right when Erica Lindbeck's character Nori, she's the tough girl who's trying to keep it tough for that portion of her little speech, and then she just breaks down, and that always in the Japanese and the English version, that gets me every time.
Again, it's nice to see that you got to be in part of Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of the franchise? You're hoping for another season? Are you waiting for the movie to come out or anything along those lines?
Honestly, I really like the first. I think this is kind of the consensus with Sword Art. I really like the first half of the first season.
It's like that with both, it seems like.
Yeah. And then my thing is the whole Asuna thing where she became a damsel in distress in ALO. That totally turned me off. Right. I tried watching Gun Gale Online because I was like, Sino looks really cool. And then they just kind of added her to Kirito's harem. And I was like, I don't know about this.
You didn't have to worry about that. Wasn't that nice?
I know, but in the games, it's a different story. But I don't have to dub those.
You had to at least Bryce's girl voice in the second season.
No, that was pure gold.
That was very funny. Well, we mentioned it a couple of times. A show that I definitely would like to see on Toonami, and a show that Jim Nelson would like to see on Toonami.
Yeah.
It really is fun. I remember seeing a little clip and seeing how that was your first role. I first heard you from Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, what else has she done? Just to see. I see Magi. I like longer series because it allows to build more.
Right.
Pacing might be a little better. Things like that. Not all the time.
Yeah.
And I hear about Magi and I'm just like, all right, I'll watch this. I fell in love. Oh my word! I love the trio.
It's so fun, yeah.
So why don't you talk to me and tell people your pitch to why it should be on Toonami, kind of a thing. I know with rights and things like that, we can't just be poof, there we go. But I mean, it's got to hearing it from everyone. It has to mean something where it's maybe we could work something out, you know?
Well, the tagline I like to use for Magi is the one that Eric Kimmerer, who plays Alibaba, made up. He likes to describe it as friendship is Magi. Pulling from My Little Pony, which is a bad reference, but it's still funny and cute, I think. But it's a really cute adventure series, and I really like shows that are very heavily on the friendship side of things. So characters that have really strong bonds, the trio and Magi, and then Mako and Ryuko and Kill la Kill, and Asuna and Yuki. I'm using my characters as a reference for everything.
I'm just thinking of you and Mako. Oh,
yeah.
I can only imagine if you and Christine actually continue to play along as those characters kind of thing.
I mean, we did a con together once, and we went out on an ice cream date, so people went nuts over those pictures. Right.
So I definitely think Magi could be a great it's kind of a change of pace because it seems like Toonami's been a little darker with stuff.
It's been very dark, yeah.
Which is fine. I don't mind that at all. Sometimes it can be more thought provoking, but Magi has its dark moments, but it seems very like pleasant. Like
Yeah.
Aladdin is like going very optimistic about like doing their adventure and how they tease Alibaba all the time
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
which I really
I think
like.
it'd be a fun addition.
And I
to
do
the
like
block.
Morgiana's pouty face.
Yeah, she's
Those
so
like when
cute.
she has the gloves. I love it. Christina does a great
She
job
does.
too.
She's amazing.
Oh my word. So, a little more about Toonami.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite show during that time? If you could think, I mean, I know it's a while even for me.
Yeah. Outlaw Star, I really enjoyed.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I love Outlaw
I
Star.
can't wait for that to be, I think, re-released with Funimation or
Oh, that would be
Sentai
great.
Filmworks or
Yeah, I
one of
didn't know
them.
about that.
Well, it's like with Code Geass, how
Okay.
they were releasing that one.
Good.
But yeah, I think they're trying to do with that since Bandai obviously doesn't
Right.
have the rights and all that kind of stuff. So I would love for an Outlaw
Yeah.
Star comeback. That's very good. Any Yu Yu Hakusho or Dragon Ball Z?
Oh
do
yeah,
you like
Yu Yu
those as
Hakusho
well?
for sure.
Especially
which is
because of Hunter x Hunter.
right? Because it's the same creator. So that, I like to. I forget about that sometimes that they're the same creator. But that was really cool because I loved Yu Yu Hakusho. So.
I'm looking forward to like more comparisons of those two shows as they keep
Yeah.
going. And finally, you're a big gamer that I've at least seen from Twitter and like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You've been playing a lot of Overwatch, as I
Yeah.
know. I don't have it for Xbox, so it's I have really no idea about it. What makes it so fun? Like, what makes you want to play it so much?
Well, I play on PS4, and
Oh, that's our cameraman
yeah,
right now. He's
I'm a
the
huge
PS,
Sony
PS
fangirl.
guy.
I'm a casual gamer for the most part. Like, I won't do competitive or anything. I just like to have fun, and
Right.
I get angry at games sometimes too. But especially when I lose, like most people do.
What, you mean in Overwatch or in general?
In general,
Okay.
like Super Mario, I'll get mad at myself for losing that too. But Overwatch is really great because I normally don't like first-person shooters, but there's just something about the cast of characters and getting to learn like every class to kind of suit your team and working together and stuff like that. That's really awesome. And it's gotten to the point where I'm so obsessed with it that I'll buy merch. Usually I try to only buy merch of stuff that I voice. But I just some of the Overwatch merch is just so amazing.
So all your Toonami characters, you got that down.
I've got my bag here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but I've got like.
Oh wow!
Wait, this is my resume
Oh,
bag.
my word!
It's got all my characters.
That's
at least
really
one's
a
on
cool
here.
idea.
Yeah.
You're not the only one who does that, are you?
I don't know.
That's a really cool idea.
But-
And I just remembered Little Witch Academia.
Yeah.
Now, you were the lead role in the movie, correct?
Akko, yeah.
Yes. There's going to be a TV series that
know,
was
I
announced after
heard.
Space Patrol Luluco.
Yeah.
Now, I hope it's not as short each episode as Space Patrol Luluco because I feel
I
like
think they said 30-minute episodes.
Oh, thank
yeah.
God, 'cause if that's the case,
I'm pretty sure.
then I definitely see it getting dubbed. How excited
hope
are
so.
you at least to see? Because I'm sure you'll make at least some time to catch an episode or two. Kind of.
Yeah,
I know voice actors can be very busy.
Yeah. If we do dub it, that would be amazing. But I'm just excited to watch it in general because I absolutely fell in love with the first 22-minute short that they did. I backed the Kickstarter for the second one. I had the
way.
special pink Blu-ray case.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I did all that. So I'm super excited. And this was all before I got cast too. Like, I loved it way before then. So it's always really fun being in stuff that you really care about.
Yeah.
So I was really excited to work on it, and I hope we get to continue with it. You never know what happens with stuff like that. So
it'd be really interesting because I know a lot of people really enjoyed seeing the first stuff from it. So it's kind of like, oh wow, that's really cool that they're doing this season and knowing that you at least worked on it. So it's like, wow, it's coming together kind of thing. Thank God you showed that. I completely forgot. I wanted to ask about that.
Yeah, I've got a little pin of her on there.
That is really cool. I will give you credit also, Seven Deadly Sins. I've talked with Lauren. I've talked with Erica Limbeck as well and a few others about it. It's a real good project. I wish it could go on
it's fun.
Toonami too. I really
that one I think would be a good fit for it too.
Especially Hawk. I love Hawk.
Hawk is the best.
But thank you so much for taking the time. This was so enjoyable to have.
Oh, thanks.
You were definitely, as the other two that we got to interview today, you were definitely someone we were looking forward to talking to. That's really nice.
Well, you can say I'm your favorite. I won't tell them.
I can't because Lauren would attack me. I'm sorry. Thank God she
walked away.
She just
though.
walked away right now, so I'm actually kind of safe. It's just like
Awesome.
so we'll see how that works, kind of thing. So again, thank you so much
Thanks.
for taking the time.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thanks.